Hello everyone, and welcome to this video on Ashes of Creation. Today we're going to look into the node system and take a deeper look into what it has to offer, and why it can make Ashes of Creation stand out from the rest of the genre. In every server across the game, there are nodes dotted across the entire landscape. At the game's launch, there is supposedly going to be a total of 103 regular node locations with an additional 15 castle nodes for a total of 118 nodes across Verra. Nodes will be developed across the world of Verra and will be given a specific node type based on the NPC population of said node. Each node can also have a separate government and selection process from one node to the next, keeping each node diverse and interesting. Each separate node also has a unique building associated to it as well, which can be activated at a certain point of node advancement. There are 4 types of nodes within Ashes of Creation: divine nodes, economic nodes, military nodes, and scientific nodes. Divine nodes are primarily dominated by priest NPCs, and has a focus on faith progression as well as skill and equipment augmentation. For example, infusing certain weapons with runes and power stones. The Divine Node's government is decided by citizens of the node based on service-orientated quests that prove faith and dedication to that particular node. The unique building for Divine Nodes are temples. Economic nodes focus on general trading. Essentially, this location will be imperative to a kingdom as it will generate the most amount of income. These nodes are dominated by merchants. The government of the economic nodes are all based on capitalism. Whoever paid the most gets to govern. The unique buildings for economic nodes are either markets, exchanges, gallerias, or emporiums. Military nodes focus on combat and class training in order to progress your skills. Military nodes are dominated by guards and will be a great defensive location. The mayor of these nodes will be determined through an arena-style battle between select NPCs. Unfortunately, these will not be PvP fights due to balancing. The unique building for military nodes are barracks. Scientific nodes focus on artisan classes and construction. These nodes are dominated by scholars. The governments of scientific nodes are elected democratically, and each election will be saved in that server's history. Their unique building are either libraries, colleges, universities, or academies. Now, I've already touched briefly on node advancement, but this is a really in-depth mechanic within Ashes of Creation, so I'll be doing another video dedicated to node advancement, so subscribe to the channel for future Ashes of Creation content. Player housing will be an integral mechanic within nodes. As a player, you will have the ability to purchase one of each type of housing simultaneously. You can own either an apartment, a freehold, or static housing. Apartments and static housing are limited to 1 per character per server, whereas with freeholds, you can only own 1 per account. Static housing is a non-instance accommodation within a node. Once a node has developed into a village, there will be 8 cottages available for purchase. This number will increase with the node's advancement. Apartments are an eternal instance space within a node. There will be 50 available apartments once a node advances to the village stage. And similarly to the static housing, the amount of apartment buildings will increase as the node advances. Freeholds are a large player housing that is approximately half an acre. The footprint of the freehold will not change with node progression, but expansions and upgrades do become available with node progression. You also cannot sell a freehold to another player. Every building, including the player housing, will be developed with the influence architecture of a particular race occupying that node. For example, if the general influence of that particular node is of the orc race, the architecture will be influenced by that race. Static housing and apartments can be sold from one player to the next, and each house will have a base price that scales depending on the number of citizens. As player housing will be at a premium, it is expected that these housing options will be heavily contested. Please also note that player housing can be destroyed during a node siege. If this happens, it can no longer be sold. There will also be property taxes that need to be paid, so there is a chance that the housing ownership can fall back to the node if these payments are not made, which I think will be necessary if the housing is limited within nodes. Once you own a property within a node, you are granted the ability to claim citizenship to that node. As a player, you can only claim citizenship to one node per account per server. If the node ends up being destroyed, you will lose your citizenship status, but this allows you to become a citizen elsewhere. If you're not happy with the current citizenship, there will be a 2-week cooldown to revoke and change your citizenship status to another node. It is stated that player housing ownership is not affected by any citizenship changes. Please note that everything discussed in this video is still very much within an alpha stage and is subject to change, so if there's something that didn't seem like it was going to be all that great, it may not actually make it to the final product, so please be aware of that. And that'll be it for this video today. We've only scratched the surface of the node system and there is much more depth to it. In a future video, we'll take a deeper dive into the government system of the different types of nodes. We'll also look into node sieges and how they're going to work. And we'll take a look at the player caravan training system, as that plays a key role in the node system. Now if you enjoyed this video, drop a like on it. If you're excited about the game, then leave me a comment below. And remember to subscribe for more Ashes of Creation content in the future.